Are you using your intuition to make you money? Do you know that it is one of the primary points and one of the primary purposes of your intuition is to make you money, to bring you abundance, or in other words, to bring everything you need for a joyful life into your experience? That's right. Have you found your pot of gold? Is your intuition leading you there? Or are you utterly out in the wilderness and lost in the woods and can't find your way forward financially no matter what? Well, my name's Sonia Choquette. I am here to tell you today how to find your pot of gold, how to connect to that inner compass that actually will guide you to the financial flow that you're looking for. And it's more than vision boards and it's more than affirmations, although I love them, I use them, they are helpful, but they are not enough if you are not using your inner compass, which is the beeline sense in you that will take you to making money. So if this is a first time to my channel, this is part 2 of a 3-part series. So I'm so excited you're here. I encourage you to watch the part 1. And if you like it, hit the like button. And if you really like it, please subscribe. So let's get back to your inner compass, your intuition. The word means inner guide. And do you know that the biggest reason why people aren't making money is because they're ignoring their inner guide? That's your superpower. This inner compass is what you need in order to connect with what you want to experience, what you want to create, and what you want to attract. Now, we have 5 outer senses, and I love those senses because they help us understand where we are in the world, okay? They show us what about the traffic, and they give us the sounds, and they show us what to eat and to taste and to sense and to feel. But your inner sense, your 6th sense, which in fact is your first sense, it is the sense of the beating heart of you, the spirit, the divine in you that gives you life. This is the sense that guides who you are and helps you move through life to have the best connections possible. Your 6th sense guides you to be your best self, to express your sense of purpose and contribution. Because money is all about relationship. And if your relationship to self is disconnected and you are not being who you are, then your money isn't going to find you because you're not home. If you are not connected to the heart and you are stuck up in your head trying to be what everyone else tells you to be, your money connection isn't going to land. Your sense of self is where that money flows. It's flowing to your authentic self. If you're up in your head trying to be this for your partner, this for your parents, this for your friends' approval, you're not in the place to receive. You are not in the place where that connection, that relationship to abundance is happening. And it's interesting. Some people might say, well, wait a minute. I know people who have money and they're not connected to their hearts. Well, first of all, you don't know what they really have. They might have the appearance of money, for example, but they may not have a deep sense of wealth. I actually have many clients who live very superficially, and they have all the outer bells and whistles that appear to be wealthy. They may even make good money, but they are terrified inside that their resources are going to dry up because they know, they can feel that connection isn't sustainable because the money is coming to a part of them and from a part of them that isn't authentic. So this is where people actually might have a lot of money, but they live in a poverty experience. Whereas if you really connect to your inner self, listen to that inner voice and know that it has your back, it is reliable, it is guiding you in spite of what other people say. And despite every feedback you're getting to say, ignore that. That inner voice is going to take you to your pot of gold. Your heart chakra, your heart center, your power center is your pot of gold. It's I am committing to and expressing what I actually came here to contribute to the planet. If what we're doing in the world isn't contributing in a way that fulfills us, we are not going to experience or attract money that would give us any sense of real deep security or really fill our bank accounts with any sense of flow. I've actually have several clients who have had the unbelievable needle in a haystack good fortune of winning big lotteries and having more money than most of us could even possibly imagine. But because the money wasn't connected to their spirit or any sense of personal value, because they weren't doing a thing that they really loved and felt really worthwhile, they wouldn't let themselves have the money that they had won. And isn't this the classic story about people who get these windfalls of money? Is like, what happened? If we're not connected to our inner self and we are not connected to that place in the universe that says, of course I can receive, and of course it makes perfect sense, and it's in perfect alignment with the universe that my good energy out, and this isn't about work, it's just about my love, my expression. I am being my true self. That's the good energy out. That of course that energy will reverberate back as good energy in. I have two clients I want to talk to you about. One of my clients that I've worked with for a while has a tremendous singing voice, beautiful performer, beautiful actor, has written many plays, and is barely making ends meet. It's struggle, 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 struggle. I have another client who has a perfectly passable voice, marginal talent if you're going to be very objectively critical, but loves so much who they are and what they're doing. Things just seem to fall into his lap left and right, and he just keeps getting luckier and luckier and luckier in terms of receiving from the universe, having a wonderful career. And you just think, wow, how is that possible when you're using your logic? But of course I understand, and people who are around this guy feel that absolute, I am being me, and this is me. So maybe I don't have the best voice, and maybe I don't have the most critically acclaimed talents, but I have a lot of love, and I'm just being me, loving a lot, and I am receptive to the universe loving me back. And that's the secret to prosperity. That's your pot of gold. It's here. It's in your heart chakra. It's in your solar plexus, which is your third chakra, where my decisions are supporting my heart, not sabotaging them. So we have to unfurl any knots between your heart and your will and let them go. Now, you still have to work hard. In both cases, they're working very hard. There's always work connected, but if it's a labor of love, it's not difficult. If you are, whatever your contribution is, if you are loving and you are available to being loved back, then the universe will start flowing. And let's expand our perspective of abundance off of just money, although money's a big part of it, but also the abundance of support, abundance of friendship, abundance of health, abundance of goodwill, abundance of life experiences that bring you joy, abundance of human connections that matter, because all those things create more wealth. All those things, that's the value of networking. If someone really likes you and feels you're genuine and supportive, they're going to help you. And so it's all about this relationship first to your heart and your spirit and your decisions. So your ego self or your logic self is working with your heart, and they're working together in a way that wants to bring love and contribution. That love and contribution, it doesn't have to be a sacrifice. Where you love and you're loving and you show up with joy, prosperity will follow if that's what you want. Not everybody does, believe it or not. And I talked about that in our first of this 3-part series. But if you want to experience comfort, ease, flow, abundance, money, easy bills paid, it can come. There is nothing in the way of that for you if your solar plexus, which is the part of you that makes decisions, and your heart, which is the pot of gold of you, are working together. And what you're doing every day comes from a place of genuine love and availability to be loved back. Now, here's how we're going to test this and how you can help yourself. If you think, I work so hard and nothing comes back, or I hate my job, or I hate doing this, or even those words, I hate, are in your vocabulary and in your consciousness, that's a block to your pot of gold. Your heart chakra is not open and it's not going to flow money. Money flows to open heart. Now you might say, okay, well, what about those selfish people and billionaires and millionaires who have a lot of money? They may have a lot of material wealth, but they have no sense of money and abundance and security. They don't. Believe me, I have clients that are those people and they are miserable because their hearts aren't open. Now, those clients who have a lot of money with an open heart, they have a beautiful life because that's the plan and it can be your plan. So if you feel like whatever I'm doing with resentment, I am doing with comparison, I am bitter, I am angry, I am unhappy, that I have to work, I want something for nothing, that's not going to get your pot of gold working because it's an open, enthusiastic heart supported by decisions that say, yes, I'm going to share my heart. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to show up and do whatever job I need to do with love in my heart. And I am open to the universe loving me back. I am open to the energy going out, coming back. Because the truth is, it is energy out, energy in. And when what you put out is negative, even with a smile and a fake smile, it's going to come back that you don't get much, even if it's with a fake smile. If you give with a real, genuine heart, it'll come back. And it means do whatever you can and don't decide if it has any value or not. I remember years ago, I left a job that wasn't for me as a flight attendant. And I really struggled with that because I wanted to travel, but I knew that I had this intuitive path was really the one I needed to commit to. I had been already on it for many years, but I was kind of juggling two worlds. The minute I committed, my husband, who's now my ex-husband, was so unhappy because he said, what, you quit your job? What about the passes? What about the insurance? What about the free travel? What about the paycheck? And I said, I'm sorry. I have to follow my heart. I have to do what I have to do. And I don't know about all those things. All I know is that if I continue to do what I do with love in my heart, the flow will come back. And I know that to be true with my whole heart and soul and experience. Well, within a few months of that decision to leave this predictable but not happy expression of me and move into this fully, this is my path, this is what I'm committed to. I had several clients who just changed my world. One wrote an article about me in the newspaper called the Chicago Reader, and it went kind of viral of the times. There wasn't a viral thing at the time, but its version of viral, and my whole world changed overnight. Another client had 2 articles that went really international. I couldn't have planned that. I didn't figure that out. I didn't hold on to, free travel and insurance and what about I just said, my heart says I got to go here. It took a while, but it didn't take that long. Things started coming back pretty quickly. There's no magic bullet, but this is your pot of gold. This pot of gold has to align with your will. If your spirit is saying, do something that is your authentic self, and your ego is stopping you, those 2 crisscrosses will hide your pot of gold, and the energy will miss you, and so will the money. So be aware of what you're saying to yourself and check your energy. Is my decision supporting my authentic self, or am I supporting some version that I think I have to be? And do I feel secure and supported in who I am? Work with this. Say, I am open. I trust myself. My heart's got my back. My spirit, which is the voice in my heart and my intuition, will take care of me. I will work with it. I will listen. I will follow it step by step, and it will bring me to an abundant life in every sense of the word if I stay the course. So I'm going to be patient, committed, and available. And then surprise. Watch what happens. So thanks for tuning in. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on how to find the pot of gold and get the money flowing into your life now. There's no lack of money, everybody. There's only lack of imagination and availability to money. There is no lack of money. And we are opening it up with this inner self. This is your pot of gold. So you open that. If you want to come back for part 3, we'll be back soon and we'll finish up this conversation so we can get that money flowing to you right away. So if you like this, push the like button and I'll see you at the next video. All my love. Bye, everyone.